o'clock? Are you kidding me? Our show starts at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's the time we got to be on TV. Yes, you in the back.
3:30.
3:30? That's closer, but that's the time that I have to clock in. What time do I wake up? Because I got to do all this makeup. I got to do all this hair. I got to write all my articles for the website. What time do I wake up in the morning in the dark green shirt?
2:30.
2:30. Anemometer for the winds. Sometimes I'll take an anemometer with me if I'm out in the field.
Is it stressful?
Yes, because if you mess up or if you're having a bad day, all of your mistakes are broadcasted on live TV. That's another thing that people don't realize. Like if I have a bad hair day, everyone's gonna see. If I'm in a bad mood, well, you can't be in a bad mood. You have to be chirpy every morning at 2 a.m., whether you like to or not. And that's hard.
I am a meteorologist.
Okay, why did I become a meteorologist? So I am born and raised in South Louisiana, Chauvin, Louisiana. I can say Chauvin. Y'all actually know what I'm talking about. I didn't even really know I wanted to be a meteorologist whenever I was little, but I was really, really interested in the water, in the coast. My dad's a shrimper. How many of you have a trawler or a shrimper or a crabber in your family? Yep. We're losing land in Louisiana and how these strong storms are tearing apart a town that I love, an area of the world that I love so much. And I don't know if you guys feel this way about things that kind of scare you, but whenever something kind of scares me, I want to know more about it. I want to understand it. Why is this happening? Why? I figured the best way to do that is to study the weather. In hopes to save the world someday. I don't know. But TV wasn't always exactly what I wanted to do either. I got into the weather for the weather itself, for the science behind it. And that's what my degree is. I'm a meteorologist before I'm a broadcaster, before I'm a reporter. Louisiana is what drove me to study meteorology. So now, full circle. Now I'm going to go ahead and take questions about the video from Ida. Did y'all enjoy watching that, by the way?
Yeah.
Did anyone recognize the places that I was at in the video?
Yeah.
Y'all recognize some of the roads?
Did the storm impact Houston if it did?
So Houston really did see minimal impact. So if you think about the way that a hurricane is set up, it's going to be rain heavy on the eastern side, and the western side is normally the dry side. Even though we were closer in proximity to where the storm's eye was, places in Florida saw more of those impacts than what we did, even though they were further away. That's just because the storms are normally lopsided, leaning more toward the east.
How was your mom? How is she at the item?
How is she? She is good now. Our house is just now getting some of the structural damage fixed. Everyone in my family is physically okay, but you know how it is if something's a mess, something's out of place, you want to fix it. That's how she feels. So she was just very, very stressed out after the storm. But everyone is physically fine in my family, and that's about all you can ask for. How many of us have a lot of cousins in town? Yeah, we all have some pretty big families. We're from South Louisiana, and we all kind of rely on each other, and that's what we did. It was a big reliance on family after the storm.
Miss Chauvin, I have a question. Do you think that it was a category 4 or a 5?
So technically it is a category 4 because wind speeds were at 150 miles per hour within the storm. That's what classifies it as a cat 4 with the Saffir-Simpson scale that we use. Only a wee bit stronger than it would have been a category 5. And there were reports of people picking up on wind speeds of 158 out along the coastline, which would have essentially made it a category 5 storm. And we've seen this in the past with Hurricane Michael and a few other storms where the National Weather Service has kind of changed their mind. They've gone back and switched storms from category 4 to 5s. I'm not sure if that's going to happen with Ida. It is a possibility, but right now in the books, it's a category 4, a strong category 4.
Where exactly did the eye make landfall?
So the eye made landfall at Port Fourchon. So that's going to be further south. So Nat, what road that is Fourchon down? LA1, yeah. So it's way, way, way down there.
So, what is there any reasons of why it stalled? Because at my house we were in the eye wall for like 8 hours.
Yeah, so we call this the brown ocean effect. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. So a storm feeds off of warm Gulf waters that provides fuel for the storm. So a storm is always also going to take the path of least resistance. It's always going to want to hang out where it feels most comfortable. It's like a person in that way. We want to stay in our comfort zone. And if there's no upper level pattern, no stronger winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere that's going to help get it out the way, say like a cold front, what do we have? We have swamps. We have gross, I don't know how you can describe that. We have marsh, we got swamps, we got bayous. So the storm still thought that it was over the Gulf of Mexico. It thought that it was over the water. So we got this brown ocean effect where it continued to swirl about and almost strengthen while it was over the marshy area of South Louisiana, and it was comfortable there. So it didn't want to move on land. It wanted to stay as close as it could to that source of fuel and moisture, which was the Gulf of Mexico and our swamplands.
Do you think Katrina or Ida was?
Loud. I said loud.
Oh, it's a big question. Katrina or Ida, which one's worse? Is that was your question? So Ida definitely was the stronger storm. Comparing the two, they were bad for different reasons. Ida was bad because of the wind and because of the pure storm strength. Katrina, yes, it was a strong storm, but there were other reasons why Katrina was bad. Levees were broken. It hit an area of New Orleans that was not well suited for these situations, a really highly populated area. A lot of people were flooded out. A lot of people lost their lives in Katrina. Ida's death count wasn't nearly as high, but the circumstances were different. Societal impacts, I think Katrina has more lasting impacts on people than Ida did. So it depends on which way you look at it.
Face down. There you go.
But make sure you can still,
There you go.
1, 2, 3. Perfect.